and welcome to Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. I'm Brenda and we're here with another episode of Free Pattern Friday. I just love Free Pattern Fridays, and today I'm coming with a surprise. First off, we're going to do a little improv, and we're going to do something very Canadian. We're going to recreate an Inukshuk. An Inukshuk is a Aboriginal clan marker or navigation system that is used in the Northwest Territories of Canada. It's a very old marking system or navigation system. It also marks the lands that belong to certain indigenous people up there. And I have got a cute little idea. We're going to use our strings up for this. We haven't used our strings in a while, so we're going to play with those too. So before we get started, I want to give a shout out to another, what I consider a modern quilter. And it's Melanie Traylor, Traylor, and I'm going to put her YouTube channel in the show notes below. I just love her stuff. It's just kind of whimsical and fun and relaxed. It's all great. So the other thing that you're going to find in those show notes below is going to be our Facebook group, where we're making use of the rooms. We're having sew dates in the rooms. We're also doing like the pictures and the show and tell on the the pictures, and we're also doing like questions and polls. And there's a fabric exchange now ran by one of the members. She mentioned it, and I said, yeah, you can go with it. And here you go. You have that all to yourself, and put it up as a feature thing. And I guess the members there are having a lot of fun fabric exchanging for different cut sizes of stuff to get that whole scrappy look going. The other thing you're going to find in those show notes is going to be our Zoom sew dates. Now those Zoom sew dates are once a month, at the first Saturday of the month usually, and all the dates are listed in the show notes below from now until December. Now we're going to start adding more dates into the following year once we get closer to the end of the year, but it'll be fun. You get a chance to plan what you're going to do, and come be ready to do a little show and tell and a lot of chatting and a lot of fun and giggling and everything else. So now, lastly, I'm doing free speaking engagements to any guild because I get to see the show and tell, and that's probably the best part of the show, I think. But anyways, that's some of the guilds are still having a little bit of issues and memberships and everything. So if you know a guild and you want them to show me, I do them for free. It's all good. The other thing that I want to talk to you about is our analytics are showing over half of you viewing right now are not subscribed. So like, share, and subscribe if you can. I know there's a lot of people that don't want to subscribe because there's so much information you have to give to YouTube, but like, at least share them with your friends, okay? And comment if you're able to. We love to hear from you. Okay, so come on in. We got to play with our strings today. Okay, just so you can get a better look at this Inukshuk. This one is by Mark Tolton. And that's what it is. Now normally they have larger rocks here. Basically they're kind of representing two legs, an arm, and a head, right? So there should probably be another rock here, but just this was one of these art pieces that you pick up, and I fell in love with it. Now a lot of these stones or markers, these Inukshuks, are very weather worn, so they're just glossy, right? Because they get a lot of wind erosion, and they're just beautiful. But basically they're a marker pointing to a direction, right? They represent a human, and they say the human's that way, right? So that it's kind of a fun Canadian thing. Now I know some countries probably call them different things. I'm not sure what I know they're called something else in the States, but it's an interesting concept. Now what I'm going to do, I'm not going to take out too much of this, but I'm going to need a bit of this, a bit of browns, and I just want to do a little random thing here, and a lot of white, right? So now I'm not going stark white. I could go stark white. Let's go stark white, starkish white. And I want to pick out a few bigger pieces. I probably should. Here, I'll pull that one out too. I'll stick out a few of those. Now, the legs on this, right, we're going to try and make it a 12.5-inch box. I already have like two pieces here that are roughly the same size. I actually have two pieces here that are exactly the same cloth. Let's go different. let's make this totally scrappy, totally unique. Because the rocks that these are made out of are different types of rocks too. Like they're not, you know, they don't go looking for all soapstone, and they don't go looking for all, you know, this or that or whatever. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut, this is kind of an improv-ish thing. So what you want to do is you just want to cut 2 pieces. Let's put this here, I suppose. Go this way. All right. Oops, let's not unthread this. Yeah, this is kind of a improv. Like I said, we haven't done a lot of improv. And improv is kind of a fun take on stuff sometimes. You know, you get a real different feel for, you know, things. And, you know, you're basically, it's very carefree sewing. It's not hard sewing. It's not, you know, anything monumental. And what you're going to do is you're just going to keep adding fabric. And again, you want to make sure you're pressing to the dark, because you don't want the dark browns there to come through. Just get off that bit there. You don't need that. Okay, now let's get another piece on this side. Oops, I should probably make sure I'm going the right direction. Here we go. There. Okay. And we just go to trim that way. Okay. Now, let's pick a different piece. And this is kind of like the base of the body, right? So we want, let's see, a larger piece on both ends. So let's start this first. We'll do this first. There we go. It's about the same width too. Woohoo! Oh, that works. Okay. Okay, I'm going to sew these together for the legs. You sew as far as you can, and then you move to the next piece, right? Basically is what you're going to do with this, right? So, and they don't have to be perfect, because you can just sew them until they're big enough. Okay, and let's see. Okay. Yeah. You're going, wait, what did you do? Well, I mean, you do this any way you want, right? I've got a base, and now I'm going to play with, ooh, a different white. Let's get a different white. Oh, no, that's the wrong shape. Let's get this. Let's see. Oh, okay. Well, I see. That's none of this is going to work. Oh, here we go. Here we go. We got some different stuff going on here. Let's take this white. It's got little green speckles on it, but it'll be fine. And we'll just keep sewing along here. Okay. Now, with this, you kind of want to measure it to be at least 12 or more inches, right? So let's get my, I just have a ruler here real quick. Okay. So if I make this, 7 times 2 is 14, 6.5. Okay, so I'm just going to clip this up this way. I'm going to leave it a little big, because that's okay. And now that's going to be larger than 12. So I know the body part, one of the base is now at least 12. Going to be 12.5 inches when I'm done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to work on other body parts. And let's work with a darker stripe. Let's work with a darker stripe. Okay, there we go. Now, we have a body, but sometimes bodies aren't, they're built up, you know, so that will, you know, be a different size of body, right? Now I'm going to do that again, that same trick here with the base that I pulled on the other one. And and you're like, okay, we're watching her do what? Okay. And we're just going to keep moving along with, where did that fabric go? Oh, there it is. Here it is. And we're just going to keep making this the legs or the base the same, you know, like we're making it wide enough so it's 12-ish. Or, you know, it's going to be a little bit of sewing here on this before we get done. And do this with the other side. Okay, now we've got this. Okay. That's not 12 at all, is it? It's not close at all. I'm just going to leave a ruler here. Might be a little easier if I had a ruler here. Hang on. No, not even 10. So, let's do, oh, another round? No. Oh, let's do another round of these. Okay. Okay, so that, we'll put another round of this. Okay, just on the base, and you're just rough trimming everything right now because you're trying to make things big enough. That's it. That's your goal. You're making it big enough. Now the other one I trimmed, what, 6.5, and it means it trims out about there. Okay, and it might be a bit big, but that's okay. Because see, okay, as you're doing this, you're looking for 12 across, right? So that's bigger than 12, but now you can play a bit and move this back and forth, right? Like these are longer than 12.5, right? So you can kind of, you know, shuffle them a bit before you actually sew them. But, I mean, and it does create kind of a fun little thing. Let's do a head next. Let's do a head. No, we're going to do arms next. Let's do arms next. Let's get a dart. Ooh, this is nice. Oh, this is nice and big. This is actually nicer. Okay, the arms, right? The arms that point. Now, with the arms, you want to take and kind of make one of them pointed, right? So, this is how you do it. You take an odd shape like this, and you cut off a triangle of stuff. Oops, and I want, where is this? I want this going. I want this going this way. So, yeah. I want that going that way. Okay, there. So now, we're just going to do this way. Okay, put the good sides together, and we're going to make a point, okay, across this. Good sides together. So, wait a minute. So if I put my good sides together, I'm going to flip this back. So I'm going to make it like that. It'll be a little bit weird. We're a little bit wonky, that's okay. Because those are not, you know, they're kind of a primitive arrow thing, right? Okay, and let's see. I've got one more piece on this side to go. Okay. All right. There we go. There. Now, you're going to make sure you got coverage, right? That's the key here. You want coverage. And there you got coverage, right, to make your little pointer. It's kind of a pointer finger kind of thing. Anyways, there we go. I'm going to clip that off because we can. And just clip out the back, the dark spot on the back. Now, we're going to play and do that trick again with, you know, you sew one end, you sew the other end, right? Okay. Well, now we make the head. So I have to make sure this is going to be, oh, it needs more. So if I just add this piece onto the end, it will be big enough because I haven't decided which direction I'm going yet. Okay. It's kind of a stream of conscious awakening, I guess, of how we do stuff. Now I'm just going to rough trim this square-ish, right like that. Okay, there we go. Okay, now this should be larger than 12. Yes, it is. I believe it is. Yes, it is. Yeah, we're good. So the feet are finally done. I am going to make sure I run a piece on the bottom to represent snow. Okay, so I'm going to go across the bottom here. Okay. Just to represent the snow. Just to kind of give that. Oh, she actually knows what these things look like. Not many people, not many Canadians have seen these in real life. And that's, you know, Canada is so big. And I kind of thought about this. I was like, oh, this would be so much fun. You know, but anyway. Okay. So here we go. We're down to the end. There, of that. And some of this will get cut off, which is fine. Okay, now. So there is our pointer finger-ish thing. So now we want to go 6.5 and 6.5-ish. And we're just going to trim this off just like so. 6.5 is healthy, you know, healthier size. So this is the pointer finger, right? I know, you're sitting there like, what are you building? I have no idea what you're building. Okay, so this now needs to be squared up. One side needs to be squared up because it's a little off. Okay, now let's take this bigger piece of brown and let's get a nice piece. And this is going to be the head. So the head is going to go that way, but in order for it to go that way, it has to have a bigger piece this way. Okay. So, this one looks like it's really old because it's got such a wide. So as you're building these, right? Okay, let's just, because I think some of you are getting lost, and maybe that could be, you know, that can be true. There is a base, and then this, and then the arm, now the head, right? But in order to make the head, because I want a wider piece, right? I want it to be wider. I have to take a couple of strips and make them a little bit bigger. But that's essentially where we're headed here on this little adventure. So, okay, I got a piece of this and a piece of, where's another, oh, this is nice. Okay, and this one, okay, yeah, let's do that. Okay, and no, we'll go the other way. Now, okay, now you can adjust this any size you want. I'm trying to do a 12.5-inch block just because I can. Okay, so now this, okay, if I shorten it, it'll fit. If I shorten it, it'll fit, right? Just make this side square first, and then sew it this way. There we go. There you go. Oops, I ran out of thread. I ran out of bobbin thread. I lost bobbin chicken. Yes, we lose bobbin chicken here lots. It's one of those fun games that we lose quite often. And there's no way around it, I guess. Okay. Yes, I'm using yellow thread. It'll be fun. Yeah. Just basically what you do every time you change your bobbin, you mop out the fluff that you can get out of your machine right away. That's really a good idea. Okay. Now we're just going to trim this because we know that's too much. And we press to the dark. And now we hope this is big enough. Yes, it is. And again, you could trim it to make it the right size. It's entirely up to you how you do that. Okay. Okay, there. Now let's get the base and one of the bases done. Because now basically this is, okay, so a base. So if this is 12 inches, it's a little bit long. So this is 12 inches, this is almost the same size. So let's make sure the leg is at least covered. Like right here, let's make sure that leg is at least covered. Okay, so as we're sewing, we're going to sew it like this. Remember, we're working with our string, so basically you're trimming it all up at the end. And there we go. Okay, now let's see. There's the head, and we're going to leave the head extra long. Now we're going to take the next piece and kind of lay it out, and it works best when it's like that, I guess. Yeah, okay, so here we go. I'm just going to go like this. Now I'm pressing to the dart, so I want that dart to fall in on itself. Okay. Okay, now this piece, right, gets sewn on with, oh, I need something a little thicker. Oh, here we go. Is this long enough? Yes, it is. Okay. So this piece, I can run right across the top. Okay, I run right across the top. Yes, it's way too long, but that's okay. I can just add it in with my crumbs that I'm working on. Okay, there we go. Okay, now these two pieces, okay, I'm going to go like that. So, and now we're going to put the base on, this base on, like so. Oops, here, let me get that out of the way. Yeah. I'm gonna need a squaring up mat and everything to do on here next. Okay, so we can play around with it by shuffling it one way or the other, but you can't, do too much shuffling, because what's gonna happen is you still want to make a 12.5 inch block, right? So you're going to kind of fit it like so. Just like that. Just like that. And I suppose we could do these by paper piecing, but they would lose that artistic free form, right, that we've got going on here now. And I think that's going to provide some interesting results with this. Okay. Now I'm going to take this off. Oops. Okay. Take this off. And we're going to press this way, because that's the way the material wants to go. Okay. So that's the base of the Inukshuk. Okay. Now, I'm just going to open this up a bit. There we go. Now, we're going to put this head on about there. We're just going to make a little offset, maybe that way, right? That looks good. I think it looks good. So you're like, oh my gosh. Or, no, we shouldn't go the other way. We should go the other way. Here. Because then it looks like an arm pointing, right? Okay. So I'm going to take this part off. Okay. And hold on to this while I sew. Okay, there we go. Now, now I'm going to see how far off we are of the mark on the 12.5 inches. Okay, because remember, we're using string, right? So this is one of those projects, you're using string, it's fine. Whatever you come up with, it's all good, right? So, okay, I'm just going to finger press this, and then I'm going to see how many more strips I need to add before I have 12 inches. Because right now I'm at probably 11-ish, so I'm going to add a bit more, and we'll be right back. Oh, here's a nice one to add. Okay. So I can either add to the top or the bottom, and I think I'm going to add to the top. Oops. I'm going to add to the top, trim it, and then we'll get back to you. Okay, there we go. That's the side to add. Okay. And then we'll have our ta-da moment. So this didn't take that long to make a very unique little block, right? And we don't do improv piecing here usually on this channel, but today we decided, yeah, let's give it a whirl. Let's see what everybody's talking about. Let's see what everybody's doing. Okay. Okay, this is a quick and modern take on an Inukshuk. It's a very Canadian kind of thing to be doing, but I just thought, I'm going to have a little bit of fun with this Free Pattern Friday. It's going to be so cute. And it was easy to do. It was improv, and I didn't waste a lot of string fabric, right? Because I just basically made this out of my strings. And the amount I threw away was insignificant to the 12.5 inch block, unfinished block that I got. So it was awesome to share this idea with you. And I do hope you give this kind of like improv piecing a try, like, because it's very freeing. You don't have to worry about stuff. And it kind of does look like it's little brother, the real thing. Oops, let's get this behind the little thing. It does kind of look like it. You know, it's it's one of these fun little things. Now, I do think the U.S. calls these something else, and I'm not sure what they're called. So if you know, please comment in the show, put that in the comment sections below. I would love to find out. Okay, I hope you try this, or this method for these kinds of things and other kinds of things. And I hope you have an absolutely wonderful week ahead and everything goes well for you. Okay, you take care until then. All right, bye. My husband and I would love to thank you for all of the amazing people that we have met along this crazy YouTube adventure that we've been having. We do free speaking engagements too, so if you're part of a guild and they're looking for, you know, people to talk and, you know, and chat with, you know, in their monthly meetings, tell them that I'm doing free ones just to help the guilds out, because it's been a tough time for the guilds as well. You know, share, like, and subscribe with your friends. You know, make sure that they're, you know, they get the word out on us. That's the best way you can do to help us out. So until we meet again, I want to thank you. Okay, goodbye.